Justice Mogoeng. This is one of several videos that I've done for your attention. I've already explained in the previous videos why I use the internet or the World Wide Web for that, particularly YouTube. I'm not going to go there now, but today I want to talk about how Mr. Bernard Ngwepe, assisted Mr. Jacob Zuma to undermine the independence of the judiciary in South Africa. That's the big word, of course, undermining of the judiciary in South Africa, and it's a serious accusation, and I'm not taking it lightly. But I thought I must bring this one out in the case involving Goodman, Manyanya, Phiri, in the department of the executive arm of the state, commanded in chief by Mr. Jacob Zuma. I do not know what's going on with Mr. Bernard Ngwepe. I'm saying Mr. deliberately because I'm trying to respect the position that he holds, although he is not immune to criticism. So I want to bring that one out to you as well, Justice Ngwepe. There's been a lot of procedural, flouting in the department where I work. It's a junior court, junior to the Supreme Court, where Mr. Bernard Ngwepe works. He's the president of one of the divisions of the Supreme Court. So I appeal to his division, Mr. Ngwepe's division, to assist me with the undermining of procedure in the junior court of the department, and Mr. Ngwepe went into the, he played, he became part and parcel of the junior court, because now, what I'm saying here is very important, because I've got sources in the division where Mr. Bernard Ngwepe works, who informed me that he got instruction from that the minister who had been ordered by Jacob Zuma to hurry up with the Phiri case, Goodman Phiri case, and I think that's you're making a dog's breakfast with the independence of the judiciary in South Africa if you get instructions from the executive arm of the state, where Mr. Jacob Zuma, the abuser of power, where I am concerned personally, Phiri, is heading. But that's what Mr. Ngwepe, according to my sources in his division, told me. Justice Mogoeng, you are heading South Africa's highest court. And that's why I'm appealing to your justice. And I do believe that you are the only person remaining now who can save me from the unfairness that I suffered in my own department. It's a junior court, very junior to the Supreme Court. You can save me, and the procedural unfairness which now Mr. Ngwepe has copied because he receives instructions according to my sources. I know those sources will not come out if they feel threatened, because Mr. Bernard Ngwepe is very senior there. He's the president of that division of the Supreme Court. But if Justice Mogoeng can assure them, safety if they come forward, I think they'll come forward. Failing which, maybe the international community were heading towards the Gaddafi situation, where the international community must solve South Africa's problems like we're fools. We can't handle our own things because we allow people, low-lifers, to run our affairs to the extent that there's a Gaddafi that must be done to South Africa as well, in order to get, to get us our democracy, for which we fought for since 1912, as the great and the indomitable African National Congress, which has been infiltrated by people whom I think ought not to have been there. I do not know if Mr. Bernard understands who it is that he is dancing with, he's having a tango with. Mr. Jacob Zuma around the 80s was abused by a racist, black racist pro-Eastern Cape, where Mr. Nelson Mandela came from. He was called the chief intelligence officer of the entire African National Congress and the controversies, and he was signing off the death of people. There's two colors that I met in a VTC. It was a college we built in Dakawa, and Mr. Zuma signed off that they should be buried alive in a secret place. And I know the commander of that operation ordered by Zuma was one Mr. Robert Manyanya. I think it's also from the Eastern Cape. Mazimbu Dakawa, the United Republic of Tanzania. There's another fellow who was, tortured to death by on the orders of Mr. Jacob Zuma. and he was about to be buried. His corpse was about to be put in a watery grave in the river running next to Solomon Mahlangu Freedom College, the orders of Zuma. And fortunately, our host government, Tanzania, you know, arrested those perpetrators. So the records that the international community can follow in Tanzania. I'm not talking something. And I also met those. I went to the prison as a journalist to actually see if my sources have got the point. So that is so I'm not, so Mr. Bernardo should know what he's dealing with, undermining South Africa's independent judiciary by getting orders, secret letters. Hurry up, the Colonel Phiri or Mr. Phiri, Goodman Peter's case. He's dealing with people who have destroyed the oldest, probably the oldest organization in Africa of liberation, and now they want to destroy the Republic of South Africa. We are going to the drains, Justice Mogoeng, without assistance. I'd like to stop just there. But I thought it's high time I mentioned the things that Justice, or rather Mr. Bernard Dingwepe has been involved in, so that it also goes on record as my case is being looked into. There are other points I would have looked into here, but I think YouTube would allow me to go any further than this. Thank you very much, Justice.